able to accept positive feedback? Or do you just shrug it off or perhaps attribute it to the wider team? Owning and accepting and understanding positive feedback can be so powerful, yet all too often time and effort is spent worrying, ruminating, and perhaps getting extremely anxious about something that didn't quite go according to plan or the way that you wanted it to. It's also possible to accept positive feedback without coming across as arrogant, smug, or particularly self-important. Genuine thanks and gratitude from the person that gave you the feedback is enough. And you might even want to ask them a little bit more about that feedback. They didn't give you positive feedback for nothing. There may be something in that feedback that you heard that you hadn't truly owned before as something that you were really good at. Or perhaps you haven't really consciously been aware that that's what you were doing or that's how you were behaving. It is so important to understand why you receive positive feedback. It didn't happen by chance. Knowing what enabled you to operate at your best will allow you to do so again, more often and with more consistency. There's a few questions that you may want to ask yourself. What skills, experience and expertise was I using at that particular time, over a period of time or on a project? What strengths were you using? Were you working in alignment to your values? Was there something that particularly motivated you on that occasion? Were you working on your own or as part of a team? And was it the circumstance, the actual environment potentially that made a difference to that particular result and that particular feedback? The thing is, unless you ask these questions and you understand, then the chance of replicating that behaviour and that performance is less likely. In the Olympics at the moment, many athletes have tried time and time again to improve their personal best. And they've done that by analysing what enabled them to do good times or good throws or whatever discipline they're in. They will have gone back and looked at what they did well previously and how they can just take that a bit further. It didn't happen by chance. And your positive feedback didn't happen by chance. So you may want to go back and think about a situation where you received positive feedback but didn't really own it and acknowledge it, or actually think about what really enabled you to be in that situation. So that's something that you may want to do this week.